let's talk about money.
Show me the reason you have no money.
Any vouchers? Normally has a voucher. No, that's good stuff.
How to say
I've got no money
in British slang.
Let's go.
This morning I delivered a food parcel to a family in need. A single mother with 3 kids who had reached out before school started to let us know that she had no food in to feed her children.
Most British people are cutting back on food and heating this winter.
I'm Mercedes, I've just turned 31, I've got no fucking money.
No. We're completely fucked. We're completely fucked.
Nearly £500 is what the average UK person gets into debt every Christmas.
I have 2 questions for the parents. First question for the teenage boy mums. What the fuck do we get them for Christmas?
£10 pensioners Christmas bonus paid this week, first week in December. You get it straight into your pocket. What are you going to spend it on, eh? It's a laugh, it's a joke, but what can you do? Enjoy it and spend it wisely.
Right, I've just spent 20 minutes ranting about the cost of living on my Instagram, so now I've come over to do it. Right, now I'm not being funny. When did we start working just to barely pay our bills? Now, I believe that if you work and you work hard every day, you should be able to afford luxuries. You should be able to afford to go on a holiday. You should be able to afford to go down the road and buy a fucking Costa if you want one. You should be able to go out and buy yourself a new outfit for that night out because you work every single fucking day. You shouldn't be working every single day to barely scrape by, to barely pay your bills, because at the moment everyone I know and everyone I talk to, this is the situation. They are struggling, and it's modern day slavery, and this is the reason everyone is so depressed and so down, is because they feel like they're failures, because they're going to work all the hours they can and they're barely paying their bills and they don't feel good enough, and then they get depressed because all they're doing is going to fucking work to not even be able to pay their fucking bills. Like, it's extortionate. It's actually extortionate. Now, obviously the government has said about this 2-year funding thing. Great, but I don't think it's going to be implemented by the time it's any benefit to me, so I'll carry on paying my ridiculous nursery bill.
Welcome to Blighty Blighted, your daily reminder that Britain used to be better, including Christmas. Well, here we are. Another festive season in the UK, and half the country can't afford so much as a turkey leg. We Brits don't have enough money for Christmas this year, and honestly, can you really blame us? Everything costs more than a small family car. The cost of living is so bad you practically need a mortgage to buy wrapping paper. Electricity bills? Don't get me started. You put the fairy lights on for 10 minutes and you can hear your smart meter screaming for mercy. And the government? Oh, they've been a great help. If you're a millionaire, an offshore trust, or a decorative pot plant. For the rest of us, it's been policies written with all the care of someone filling out a crossword in the dark. But, and here's where some of you won't like me, we're not entirely innocent either. Britons will say they're broke, then spend £600 on nonsense from online ads because it looked handy. 50 quid on Christmas candles, 100 on novelty jumpers, and don't forget the £7 coffees. The country's skint, but the delivery drivers can't keep up.
Hello, good evening. I just want to say, so many of you are worrying about
how much people are spending on their kids, like, oh, £100 doesn't seem enough. You spend what you think is right. Do you know, I've had some Christmases where I've had no money at all, and I've gone to the charity shops, got second-hand consoles. Most years it's like that when you've got your own business, because Christmas is quite dead and it's always a stressful time. Some years it's good. Please don't worry that you can't have the perfect Christmas, because the perfect Christmas is having everyone you love around you. Trust me, I know. I lost my mum a few years back, and I would trade everything I own to have one more meal with her at Christmas. So please cherish everyone around you. Have fun, play games, because they're not going to remember the presents. They're going to remember the memories.
This was due to a failed payment from Department of Works and Pensions. When we arrived this morning, her home was absolutely freezing. Her initial inquiry to us was regarding a food parcel. She wanted to prioritise feeding her children food. She didn't want to ask for support with gas and electric because she didn't want to overwhelm us as a service. Thankfully, we were able to top her up and provide a food parcel. But the unfortunate reality is this is only a short-term fix. Families like hers are facing these issues every single day. The children that we are seeing on visits daily look hungrier and hungrier. The homes that we attend are getting colder and colder. Right now, we need a long-term sustainable plan. And the unfortunate reality is, this government don't have one.
I'm on the bones of my ass. I'm penny pinching till payday. I'm broke. Totally broke. I'm so skint. I haven't got a beam. I'm totally penniless.
Like, he looks like he's got nothing because they're so expensive. With girls, you can pad it out, can't you? With like nail varnish, face mask, makeup brushes. What do you do? What do you get boys? I don't know what to get him. Maybe I'll just get him the same stuff. No, he will hate that. But he likes, like, even a controller for the PS5 is like 60 quid. That's not really padding it out, is it? And second question is, do you have a set amount of money for each kid? Or do you have a set amount of gifts? Because again, he's had more than her, but she's got a lot more gifts than him. So, I'm curious, how does everybody else work this out? Because it makes me, I feel a bit bad, because it doesn't look like a lot, but he's had a lot of money. In my eyes, anyway.
I don't know if anyone can relate, but I'm so fucking sick and tired of working every hour under the sun and never having any money. So I had to find myself an extra evening job to try and make more money, just to be able to go on one holiday a year with my children and my husband. Every morning when I open my eyes, the first thing I think about is money. Life shouldn't have to be like that. I shouldn't have to worry every single waking minute about whether I've got enough money to cover the bills. But things are tough. I've decided that 2025 is the year that this changes. I am not going to live like this anymore, and nor is my family. I'm Mercedes, I've just turned 31, I have 2 beautiful children and a wonderful husband, and I've got no fucking money. I'm going on a journey to change that, deal with budgeting and debt, and make extra money using digital marketing, TikTok shop, you name it, I'm going to try it. And on the journey, I'm going to teach you how to do it too. If this is something you're interested in, drop me a follow, share, save, do what you can to boost my page so that more people see it and I can help more like-minded mums like me.
Check this out, there's a new research from Amnesty International and it shows that 67% of people in the United Kingdom are going to be cutting back on essentials like food and heating this winter. That number increases to 75% for people aged 35 to 54. So this is a massive nationwide problem. We deserve better than this. Remember folks, this is not about left-wing and right-wing politics. It's about the haves and the have-nots coming together to get rid of these scamming elites who are keeping us all impoverished, hungry and cold. Time to build our fair future.
Currently hiding from my kids while Miss Rachel parents them for me. Quick question, how are we affording Christmas this year? Because I said I was going to do a £100 spend limit for Pippa, and I've bought her 3 things. A Barbie car, a Malik mice and a Tangle doll. That was £100. I feel so bad just giving her 3 things on Christmas Day. And people just say, I'll bulk it out. with other things, but I don't just want to buy her random crap that she ain't going to use. What's everyone doing this year? Do I charity shops and bits? I mean, I don't see any shame in doing that. Like, I think I might have to. I just feel so sorry for people that haven't got the money. And to be honest, I haven't got the money to be spending hundreds and hundreds. It's just ridiculous now how expensive everything is. Maybe I'll wait for November, Black Friday. Anyone got any suggestions? I feel so bad that I've already reached my limit on 3 items for her.
I'm so sick of hearing people bang on about the government and the cost of living, the rise in food costs, and everybody's always so negative about it. Nobody is seeing the positives in it. Like, the government know what they're doing. That is why they're in that position. They understand, and they only want the best for us. And I think they could see that there's an obesity epidemic in the UK. We all know that there is. I was one of them. But now, at almost 35, I'm the slimmest I've been since I was about 22. And quite simply, it's because I can't afford to eat. And the government knew that. They knew people like me, if the food is available, we're eating it. And we're eating it all. Okay, and then I'm at risk of things like type 2 diabetes, and we can't get an appointment at the GP, so we don't want people flooding it with things like diabetes. Okay, so what they've said is, let's make the food unavailable, and nobody's thanking them for that. Nobody's saying thank you for. I did pass out yesterday, but that could be for so many reasons, not just because I can't afford to eat. I did lose £10 in about 2.5 hours, but they know what they're doing. Let's trust the government. They understand the common people. They want the best for her, and I, for one, thank them for making me slim.
If you're a parent, you might need to hear this. Owning a games console is not a human right. Same applies for designer clothes. Buying secondhand is fine. If your kid doesn't get everything on their list, you're not a bad parent. A big pile of presents is only going to deliver a split second of wow factor and will not have any impact on your child's happiness over the coming year or their life. Most people don't remember any Christmas presents they got from the year before, let alone when they were a kid. The one Christmas present I remember getting is a fishing rod. I absolutely loved it. I think it cost £12. I used it once. If I hadn't got it, it would make absolutely no difference to my life whatsoever. If you can't afford to see Santa, go on a magic train ride, do Christmas Eve boxes, that's fine. If you haven't got any energy for the Buddy the Elf, I feel you, we're with you, we're all there. If you haven't introduced him, for the love of God, don't. By the way, I have a blog post on lots of ideas for like lazy tired parents for Buddy the Elf. Our elf does stuff like climb the Christmas tree. We have a shit elf because everything that he does is done at 3 a.m. when I wake up in a panic every single night for the whole of Advent. We always attempt a gingerbread house and it always sucks. I might glue gun it this year if we even bother. My kids' stockings cost £15 or under each. My kids' budgets are £100, which is a lot more than I know a lot of families can afford. They'll be thrilled with their stuff. You don't need to spend anything. What your child will carry with them for the rest of their life is the vibe of your home, the energy, the happiness, the love and care. Not the presents, not the decor, not the food, the general atmosphere. So if you're struggling for money this year and you are worrying that somehow it's going to impact your child in a negative way, the absolute best thing you can do for your child is to make yourself as calm and as happy a parent as possible and put yourself in a position where you can give them your time, love and attention. Playing a board game with them or playing a console game with them if you've already got one, letting them do a makeover on you, reading to them, all of that stuff is so much more valuable than any sort of materialistic stuff. I've tagged the videos where I show my kids £15 stockings and £100 haul if you're interested. None of it's affiliates, none of it's ads. I'm just sharing this because I'm sick of seeing parents beat themselves up when all of us are just trying our best.
They come in, can I have a drink? Yes, you can have a drink, 35p please.
I charge my friends for their kids to eat and drink at my house.
I think it's bad.
Well, I think it's quite reasonable, to be honest, because we're in a cost of living crisis. If your children are going to come here and eat me out of the house and home, I've got to at least charge them. What do you think?
Anyone that comes to my house, eat and drink, whatever.
No, sorry, cost of living, I ain't got no money to feed. They're vultures.
Kaz's rates go from 35p for a glass of juice, 50p for a packet of crisps, and £2 for a ham roll.
Listen, cost of living, you wouldn't get a ham roll in Sainsbury's for £2, would you? Oh, this is going to cost you £1, babe.
Let's be honest guys, if someone had 6 children, you're not feeding those 6 children. They come in, can I have a drink? Yes, you can have a drink, 35p please. And you know what I do? Whenever they're leaving, I get my tally, I have a book and I write down what they drink, what they eat, all down like a row like this. Yeah, I exclude my child. Like, I'm not going to charge them for my child's food. That would be really ridiculous. But I write it all down. At the end of the day, I tally it up and they transfer it to my bank. Like, I can show you bank payments of them sending me like £3.26 to my bank account. You're not going to come to my house and eat me out of a house and home. Treat my kitchen like a tuck shop, and you'll have to pay for it like a tuck shop.
Don't say Merry Christmas at work anymore, because you might offend somebody. This is not a joke. This is being taught to a lot of people, especially those who work in retail or hospitality. You shouldn't say Merry Christmas, you should say Happy Holidays, even though the holiday in question is Christmas. Whether you celebrate it or not, it's Christmas. And this is Great Britain. It's a Christian country, and we will say Merry Christmas if we want to. Check this paragraph out here, especially the last sentence. If employees feel defined by their otherness or feel excluded from workplace culture, they are less likely to contribute ideas, less likely to do great work, and are more likely to look for employment elsewhere. They'll be looking for employment in the same country though, won't they, where we'll still be saying Merry Christmas. You imagine that? Oh, I'm not going to do great work. I'm not going to contribute as much to the company because someone said Merry Christmas to me. Don't use that as an excuse. You're just lazy and wouldn't contribute anyway. If you don't like the idea of somebody saying Merry Christmas to you because you don't celebrate it, leave Europe.
Talk to friends and family and colleagues about reducing the spend on Christmas presents this year. Maybe it's children only, or carry out an event, a fundraising event, or do some voluntary work together. Make it a gift for somebody else. Look for craft days or gift exchanges that are being run in your community. Look on your Facebook groups and the council website, or indeed run one of your own. Look at buying beauty advent calendars really close to Christmas when they're reduced, and package all the little items up into a stocking, and you'll probably find that that's going to save you a lot more than if you bought everything individually. freestuff.co.uk, latestfreestuff.co.uk, magicfreebies.co.uk. They're all sites that give away stuff, so it might be something that you could give as a present or package a few items up in one. Do help vouchers, particularly good for families, children, with vouchers that say, I will do the washing up every day for a month, things like that. But you can also offer your skills to other people at giving them your time, always more thoughtful than something you've just wrapped up. That's only a handful of things. There's masses more on my website on ways to save money on Christmas presents and indeed the rest of Christmas. And look out for the book coming soon, 456 ways to save money on Christmas throughout the year.
I wanted to respond to this comment up here, and she says, is that it? I honestly thought it would be a lot more. Not that £500 isn't a lot of money. I get it. I thought the same as well. But then, when I read further, what I started to understand is that approximately 1/3 of the population can afford Christmas, so they just pay for it out of the wages. Another third dip into the savings. They must be fortunate enough to have savings. Some people don't, which means the last third of the population are the ones who are getting into debt. Now, I'm not amazing at maths, but to me, that means that the 2/3 of people who are not getting into debt are bringing down the average of the 1/3 of people who are getting into debt. Have I got that right? Let me know in the comments. Now, if only 1/3 of people are getting into debt, that tells me that the third of people getting into debt are getting into a lot more than the 500 that it says, if 1/3 is the average of everyone. I get it. There's so much pressure to deliver the perfect Christmas. Social media does not help at all. What with all the videos about the Christmas Eve boxes, the fancy garlands, the advent calendars. I used to get a £1 advent calendar. Now you can get advents with beer, with cheese, with cosmetics, with perfume, with toys. I mean, there's literally an advent calendar for everything, and they do not cost £1. They're a lot more expensive than that. Let's not forget the matching family Christmas pyjamas. Now, they look lovely, I understand, but if you're not wearing matching pyjamas with your kids, is it really going to ruin Christmas? Is it worth getting into debt for? In my opinion, no, it's not. So before you spend, please just kind of check in and say to yourself, do we really need it? Is it going to make Christmas? Is it worth getting into debt for? Just take care of yourselves. If it's too late and you are already in debt, it might extend beyond Christmas. Please do
reach out and get some help. There's lots of agencies out there who will offer free advice. Start with the Citizens Advice Bureau, but please just look after yourselves.
How to get through the month when you've got no money. The best way I found is to try and turn it into a positive and turn the month into a challenge. Make it a no spend month. Make that your challenge. Avoid eating out when you've got no money. I know it can be difficult if you're used to eating out every week, but make that your challenge, a no spend month. So no eating out. In regards to your food shopping, if you have to do home delivery, it is often cheaper to get a delivery pass. If you can't afford that, then try and go for the unsociable slots, like 9-10 o'clock at night, because they are always cheaper. Personally, when I'm trying to get through the month with no money, I do opt for home delivery or click and collect. I feel like that's a really good idea, because when you're not physically in the store, home delivery or click and collect can stop you from impulse buying. So we've all done it. We've seen things on offer, or we've seen new things. We thought, oh, I'll get that. And then all of a sudden you've spent an extra 20 quid. If you're trying to make it through the month with no money and you've not got that extra disposable income, then home delivery or click and collect is the better option. No, there are a few cons. You can get the stuff that's about to go out of date soonest. You can get the smallest peppers. It's weighing it up. Another way to get through the month when you've got no money, if you've got kids, is to focus on doing free activities. Can apply to adults as well. Doing things like just going on walks in nature can save a load of money than an expensive day out at a theme park. Going to visit family at their houses as well. It gets you all out the house for a little bit, and you've done something and it's free. If you've got any tips on how to get through the month when you've got no money, please drop them in the comments below. It's really good to help other people.
I don't feel great making a video about this, but I think it's really needed. I struggle financially massively, and this isn't like a woe is me spiel. I want sympathy or I want anything. I know how many other people are struggling right now, and I want to talk about it. I cannot remember what it feels like to not have this feeling about worry of money in my head. I do not have any backup, rainy day fund. My money comes in, it goes out, rinse and repeat. The job that I do is really needed, and it's for the community and it's for the people, but it's not very well paid. And before anyone fucking starts, because TikTok can be full of very opinionated people, I have tried to find a new job. I'm trying. It's really not that easy, especially in my area in the northeast. It's not easy to just walk into a job. And you know, I've got childcare bill that was nearly 900 quid this month. I've got my mortgage, I've got everything, and it is all on my shoulders, and my wage isn't high. And I don't want for a lot. I would love to just be able to just take the boys out for the day. I'd love to be able to just take them out and just buy them like a pair of matching Vans on the day impulsively. But I have to like plan week by week who's getting what and what I'm going to spend my money on. One thing that I've really noticed is like people asking me like, oh, like what are your summer plans? Where are you going away? And I'm like, honey, I'll be sitting in my living room because that's the most expensive thing that I pay for. I don't have disposable income. And I think the one thing that I quite enjoy about this platform is that it feels like a bit of a safer place to talk about these things. So yeah, if you're going through financial struggles, I see you. It's like it's an invisible weight that I feel like I'm carrying around, and it's exhausting.
This is the reality of our country, and I can't believe more people aren't talking about it. I've been making videos for the last few months saying I don't understand how normal working people are surviving week to week, month to month. And this story epitomises that. And it's heartbreaking. So I was sat having a coffee. On the table next to me, a lady comes over, sits there for maybe 10-15 minutes, but she's on the phone for most of the time. And she was on the phone to, I think it was a family member. I'm not sure if it was daughter, son, but it was definitely a family member. And towards the end of the conversation, she says, my council tax hasn't come out yet. Bearing in mind, this is like the 6th or 7th of November. And she says, I've got 200 quid left. When that comes out, I've got 50 quid to last me the month. I was like, holy fuck. She's basically got 3/4 of a month to last with 50 quid. And this is the sad reality of our country. How on earth is she going to survive for nearly a full month with 50 quid? We've got Christmas coming up as well. People start the Christmas shopping, don't they, in November? Now, like I say, I don't know this woman. I don't know what her situation is. I don't know what her finances were. But she certainly wasn't there living the life of luxury. Like I say, working class town, normal working woman. And by the 6th of November, 7th of November, she's got 50 quid left to last the rest of the month. How on earth do people survive? And at the end of the month, there's going to be another 3% increase on income tax. And I think VAT is going to go up. And then you've got 3 pence a mile coming on your electric cars, which we know will filter down to normal cars. I keep thinking breaking points here, and people are going to be like, I haven't got enough money now to pay, so I can't pay. But how on earth do these people keep digging themselves out of this hole? I just don't understand it. But that's heartbreaking. 50 quid to last you nearly 3/4 of a month. Holy shit, what in the broken Britain?
So I just went into my local co-op to get a few bits and bobs. We've got a co-op at like the bottom of our road, and I've got to admit, I go into it like most days to get the odd bits and bobs. But the prices, like, I know we've got a cost of living crisis, but oh my word, the prices of these things, just look. Anyone want some ketchup? Do you want a little bit of ketchup to go with your chips? Look at that. £4.10. £4.10 for just a standard size ketchup. But it gets better. Just watch. Would you like a chicken? A nice roast chicken? One of these chickens? Guess how much? Not even a large chicken. It'd probably feed a family of 4 if you're lucky. Ready? £7.15. £7.15 for one chicken. £7.15. Oh my goodness. And do you want some gravy to go with your chicken? Some gravy, maybe, to go with the chicken, you know? Bisto. Low price. £4.30 for some gravy granules. £4.30. Bisto was like, remember that advert of that family sat around the table? Bisto. Bisto. No, not at £4.30. Low price. And then maybe, you know, it's getting a bit cold outside, isn't it? We've got snow forecast and stuff. Maybe the kids want a hot chocolate, you know, maybe. Let's get some hot chocolate. £6.20 for some instant hot chocolate. £6.20. You go in, buy those 4 items and spend over 20 quid. That's from the co-op. These prices are daylight robbery. How? £6.20 for some hot chocolate. That is crazy. And then maybe you've got a dishwasher. Maybe, you know, you shove your plates and stuff in the dishwasher after you've cooked your £7 chicken with your £4 gravy. Let's buy some dishwasher tabs, shall we? £13. £13. I don't even know how many you get in. You probably get like 20 dishwasher tablets in there for £13. Like, it's crazy prices. What income do people need to be earning to be able to buy this stuff? It's absolutely bonkers.
So I've been doing lots of running around the last 2 days, here and there, finalising last minute bits for Christmas. I was in Kingston in southwest London shopping yesterday, backwards and forwards, Tesco's, various places, getting bits and bobs. And it struck me just how insanely expensive absolutely everything is nowadays. So I'm in a relatively fortunate position. I'm not well off by any means, but I work for myself, earn my own money, and I do okay. I'm probably sort of middle of the pack when it comes to earnings. So for me, I can't get everything I'd like to get, but generally speaking, I can sort of do what I want to do within reason. But it's just, the costs just add up phenomenally. So we've got 7 people for Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. So we're doing a turkey crown, and then some beef, and then potatoes and pigs in blankets and all the trimmings, etc, etc. So just the food alone for Christmas Day, a few extras for Boxing Day, plus wine and drinks and booze, etc, well over 200 quid, which is absolute madness to feed 7 people. And then Christmas cards, I left a few Christmas cards to the last minute. You try going in somewhere like Card Factory where they're nice and cheap, and quite frankly they're either a bit crap or they haven't got any left. So then you're left with places like WH Smith's and Clinton's. £6.50 for a Christmas card. How can you pay £6.50 for a Christmas card? And if you want to get half a dozen nice ones for close family, people you love, close relatives, 35, 40 quid on Christmas cards. I mean, who spends that? It's bonkers. Even in WH Smith's, they're £4 each, £4.50 each. It's insane. And then if you want a postcard, so you go and buy a couple of boxes of the cheap ones, you just post out to all and sundry. I know lots of people now has done away with the whole idea of Christmas cards. We don't send very many, but I'm a traditionalist. I like to send Christmas cards out, so we sent about 25, 30 out this year. Second class stamps are 86 pence each, I think it is. So we've done 25 quid just on stamps. It's absolutely insane. It's bonkers. And then when I look back at it, when I was in Kingston yesterday, Kingston is normally busy, busy, busy. It was the last Friday before Christmas. You'd think it would be rammed. We just drove straight into the car park at 10:30 in the morning. And then, yes, it was busy-ish, but the shops weren't packed, the queues weren't heaving. I think people are skinned. I genuinely think people are skinned. If you drive down any high street at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, normally the bars and the restaurants would be absolutely rammed. They're not. They're really not. Some of the pubs are, some of the local boozers are still doing very well, but restaurants, not rammed like you'd think they would be. Not full of Christmas parties, not full of people out on benders. The cost of living and people's ability to earn money is really struggling. We've just had 2 months of growth going downwards under this new government. I suspect that will happen again this month. Obviously, you normally get a Christmas boost because people are out and the tills are ringing. I'm not sure that's going to happen this year. And then once people go through the long month of January without any pay, January's going to be absolutely dead everywhere you go. It's a real concern. Unless we do something to boost growth, boost earnings, and possibly even cut prices in this country, we got a massive, massive issue. Anyway, sorry to be depressing about that. I'm just letting you know how much things cost. I'm sure you're all very aware of it. What do you think? Like, comment. Am I being too pessimistic, or is it just too expensive to do things at Christmas now?
I've got £80 in my bank till Friday. And I need petrol. I need some bits for the house. My teenage daughter's requested a couple of items, and it's my son's birthday this week. He's going to be 22. But it's all right. I'm going to make it work. I've become comfortable with not having much money. I've become comfortable with not being able to afford holidays abroad. I'm comfortable with driving a 22-year-old car. And I'm comfortable that I don't have hot water unless my heating comes on, because it's a really old central heating system and the hot water pump's broke. So it only activates in manual mode when I've got the heating on. And obviously the weather's warmer now, so I'm just waffling about shit. But basically, I'm comfortable with not having much. I've never been a materialistic person. It doesn't matter that I can't go abroad, because the Peak District, which is only like a 20-30 minute drive from me, is stunning. And it brings me so much joy. I love that kind of thing. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay to be skinny. It's okay to not have much. We're not starving. There's food in cupboards. And anything that I gift my son for his birthday, I know that he'll appreciate. I'm going to make him a cake, and he loves my cakes. Get comfortable. Get comfortable with being skint. It does wonders for you. Honestly, I'm not going to cry. I'm all right. Honestly, I am. I'm not kidding you. I'm comfortable with being skint. It's okay. It's a challenge. I'm on a mission. I've got £80 in my bank, and I'm going to get the stuff that I need. Wants and needs. There's lots of things that I'd want, but I don't need them.
How much money do you spend on your kids for Christmas? I've been watching a few videos on TikTok recently where people are speaking about their budgets, and the comment sections are wild. Now, I feel like a real tight old bastard now, because like this year and the year prior, I've started spending £100 on birthdays, £100 on Christmas, okay? And that feels super low when I look at the comment section where people are spending up to £1,000, sometimes more. They're getting their kids PlayStations and bikes and stuff all in the same year, all for Christmas. And so I'm interested to know, as parents, how much are you spending? Like, I earn a pretty good salary, and up until 2 years ago, I was only spending £50 for birthday and Christmas. And I know growing up, we were pretty poor, and my mum used to get into debt to pay for our Christmases, and she used to give us £150, and that was like 30 years ago. And that would be, I don't know, with inflation, that's probably like £400 or £500 now. And she couldn't afford it. And so I have always had the mindset of, A, I don't want my kids to be super spoiled, and B, I would never get into debt to make them, get them loads of presents for Christmas, because, yeah, it's not really what it's about, is it? But I'm interested to know, am I alone in this? Am I just really tight? £100 feels like a good amount. Like my fiance's family, their parents are pretty wealthy as well, and they've only ever spent £50, I think, as well, the same, no matter what, all throughout their childhood. There was 5 of those, so it might be slightly different. But yeah, super interested to know. Let me know in the comments below, what sort of budget are you spending? If you spend, I don't know, upwards of £400 or £500, I'm interested to know, why is it that you just have a massive splurge once a year and they don't get loads of money spent on them throughout the year? Or I'm super interested. Like, no, if you spend loads, that's absolutely fine, right? It's your money, you can do with it as you please. I can't believe how many people in the comment section of the other videos spend so much money, and it's super difficult. And I've got 5 kids, right, and a stepchild, so I would need to spend, if I spent £500, you'd be looking at £3,000 potentially. So yeah, I'm super interested. I'm waffling now, but please let me know in the comments below.
It's an economic truth that you haven't got money in the bank, even if your bank statement has a positive balance on it. Now, this comes as a bit of a shock to most people, because when you've got savings, people like to say they've got money in the bank. But I'm sorry to inform you that that statement is not true. So let's first of all talk about what money is. Most people think that money looks something like this. There it is, a £20 note. That is the common conception of what money is in the UK. It'll be a dollar bill in the USA, it'll be a euro note in Europe. But that, as far as the UK is concerned, is what most people think money is. But it isn't, because this is just a statement of debt. How do I know that a banknote is a statement of debt? Well, it's because it says on it, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £20. In other words, this thing that we call money is in fact an IOU, nothing more or nothing less than a record of a debt owed by the government that issued that note to you who happens to own it at present. And if you put your money, which was represented by a pile of those notes, into the bank then has that pile of notes, and guess what? They are owed money by the government. And you aren't, because this is what is called a bearer bond. And a bearer bond is one where the money is owed to whoever happens to have it at that moment. Now that's important, because that isn't the relationship you have with your bank. You didn't give the bank your money as you see it for them to then say, well, it's mine now, thank you very much. You gave it to them on the basis that they would repay it to you. And in practice, that's what they acknowledge that they will do. They'll acknowledge that by printing a bank statement with a positive balance on it. Of course, if you owe the bank money, the bank statement will have a negative balance on it, and now you've got to pay them. But the principle is the same. In either case, there isn't money floating around, there's debt floating around. And that's because all money is debt. It is just a promise to pay. So we really shouldn't get confused between debt, which nobody can see, and these things, which are IOUs, which are simply physical records of debt, but actually aren't the debt itself. The debt, by the way, in the case of that note, is repaid when you pay your tax. They accept your banknote as payment for tax, and that cancels the debt. Now, how does this impact that relationship between you and the bank? Well, that relationship between you and the bank is one between a borrower, who is the bank if you think you are in credit there, and you are in credit there because they record the fact that they owe you money as a credit balance on their bank statement. And it's their bank statement they send you, not your bank statement that they send you. It's their books that are recording you as a creditor. And a creditor is somebody to whom money is owed. And you are a debtor of the bank. They owe you money, so they are in debt to you. Now that's the relationship. In that case, though, for you to expect there to be a pile of what you might think of as money in the bank to represent the payment to you is, I'm afraid, mistaken. There isn't anything with your name on it in the bank, except that bank statement. That's because, in practice, a modern bank doesn't really deal in what most people think of as money. I'm not saying they didn't once upon a time. Once upon a time, this idea of money as notes and coin was pretty relevant because that's the way in which most transactions were undertaken in the economy. And until 1971, in theory, you could still demand that a pound in sterling could be converted in a roundabout way via US dollars into gold. But that's not true anymore. It hasn't been for over 50 years. So there is no relationship between the debt that is recorded on your bank statement and anything tangible or physical or anything of the sort that you might think might be sitting on a shelf in the bank with your name on it. It doesn't exist. There's just a bank statement. And so all the bank is actually doing by operating a bank is recording debts. Debts from you to the bank if you owe them money, from the bank to you if they owe you money because you think you've got money in the bank, and the transfer of debt between people, which is what happens if you say, please pay someone else out of the funds that you currently owe me. The bank will then reduce the amount it owes you and increase the amount that it owes to somebody else if you make a payment through your bank account. That's what they do. They are just bookkeepers. A giant accounting exercise is what goes on inside a bank, which is one reason why, well, banks are very hard to find these days, because they don't need to be physically present on high streets to do that bookkeeping exercise anymore when we don't use these tokens of debt instead of electronic payments. Now this matters. It matters because if you are owed money by the bank, what guarantee is there that the bank will pay you? The answer is none at all if the bank is bust. Now, we are very unfamiliar in the UK with banks going bust. Only one has tried it since 1860, and that was Northern Rock, which tried to go bust in 2007, and the government bailed it out. So, as far as the people who deposited funds with Northern Rock were concerned, it didn't go bust. The government paid instead. And that is in fact why the government does now guarantee any deposit in any bank owed to you of up to £85,000, come what may, if the bank you've chosen to put your money in does go bust. Above £85,000, you are, however, at risk. If the bank goes bust, you may not be paid, because this is just a debt that is being recorded on your bank statement. There is no money in the bank with your name on it that is sitting there waiting for you to call on it. You have to get your head around that fact, because unless you understand that all money is debt, and that there is no money in the bank as such, it is just...
This costs $4.50 for a pack of 4. At that price, they should come with a financial advisor. It's a perfect storm. Bad policy, corporate greed, and the odd Brit with the self-control of a toddler in a sweet shop. No wonder people are choosing between Christmas dinner and paying the gas bill. Back in my day, Christmas was simple. Now it's a contact sport. Cheerio, and I will see you all in the next video.